My thumbnail might seem pretty unrelated. They are related because they both are going to affect the stock market. The end of China, I think, was about 5 years off, but it's coming a lot faster. We've got the revolts on the streets, and I know the CIA is helping that along, but still, it's pointing out to the Chinese people the policy of Xi Jinping that they are sacrificial lambs in his effort to shut down the U.S. economy. Then the coming shortage of beef. On the way home from our vacation, I was listening to NPR, and they were telling me that in Elk City, Oklahoma, this past week, they usually have 200 to 300 cows available for auction, and this past week it was up to 1,000 per day, and that's because the farmers are in the middle of the worst drought since 1955, and they don't have grass to feed the cows, and this is going to affect the stock market, and you need to be aware of it.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
I'm going to get it in your face in this video because I don't think a lot of you have been paying attention, and I don't think a lot of you read. I don't think a lot of you have read this book and understand that Xi Jinping has openly said that he's going to dominate the world as a superpower by 2040, and he's going to do it with whatever it takes, and he'll do it in the economic area, which means he's got to shut down the U.S. economy. He's going to do it militarily. That means he's got to build his military up to where it's bigger than the United States, and it can crush the United States. And you probably don't know they have more ships in the sea than we do. We have only more aircraft carriers and submarines, but they have more destroyers, and they're prepared. And he has openly said just in October that we're ready to go to war over Taiwan with the United States, that we'll just see what Joe's going to do. And then you haven't read this book, so you don't understand that how China runs its businesses, its companies, its mental attitude towards business and fairness and honesty. You don't understand what's happening. And when I say China was going to collapse, and I've done 42 videos on it and over the last 2.5 years, and you're still in Baidu, you're still in Apple, and you're still in Tesla. If we go to war with China, do you think Xi Jinping is going to let Elon to continue to fly in and out and make 50% of his Teslas that he manufactures currently in Shanghai? Do you think that would happen? Do you think Hitler would have allowed Ford to continue to make cars in Germany while he was waging war? Or when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, do you think that business just went on with U.S. companies in Japan? How about after we dropped the bombs, Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Do you think business just goes on? No. We are at war with China. and if you think these demonstrations in China over the people being locked up and the Omicron virus raging over there, do you think the CIA hasn't had something to do to stir the pot on that? Do you believe that only Russia and China fool around with our social media and we don't fool around with theirs? Do you really believe that? If you believe that, liquidate everything you got in the stock market right now because you don't understand how the world works. Then I said in my video, there's a shortage of cattle. What does that mean? And what the hell does that have to do with China? It has absolutely nothing to do with China, but it has everything to do with the stock market. What's happening right now? We have inflation, right? And that means there are less goods than there are people to buy them. Thus, the prices go up. We have higher interest rates, so the cost of using your credit card is going up. The other thing that really struck me as crazy this weekend was we just beat the drum. The government's got to stop spending money. The Republicans say, God, we're spending too much money. We got to stop spending money. And then we celebrate We celebrate that we had the record Black Friday and we had a record Cyber Monday. Well, who's spending the money? They're okay with us going in debt. They're okay with you going to Macy's and running up your credit card and going to Walmart and running up your credit card. You know, your interest rates are now probably up to 22% on that credit card. But yeah, Joey's got to have toys. Come on, folks. This world is in debt up to its ears, and that balloon has to burst. You know, when the cryptocurrency went from $1 to 60,000 per coin, you know that people borrowed against that gain. Well, that if you take your profits to the bank, if I took $60,000 to the bank, the profits I made off of my Bitcoin, and I put it into the bank and said, "Hey, banker, I want to put this down on a $1.2 million home that I want to build, and he's going to lend me 80% of what the cost of the home is." Okay. Then I'm going to go pay the carpenters and the plumbers and the contractors to build that house, and they're going to take that money to the bank, and the bank's going to lend out against it again. So my $100,000 that I might deposit turns into over $1 million worth of loans. Our country is so deep in debt. And our U.S. debt is $30 trillion. God only knows how much our consumer debt is. I'll look it up on the debtclock.org. But the reality is we are going down a path that is self-destruction. So let's get back to the cattle. The farmers in the West are in the biggest drought they have been in since 1955. They don't have grass in the fields for the cows to eat. So they got to sell their cows today. They're selling calves that they would have sold 2 years from now that would have ended up in your butcher case, meat case. But they can't feed them. So they are bringing them to market. What is that going to do to beef prices in 6 months? When you go to the beef department, your grocery store, your supermarket, 6 months from now, you're going to be shocked at the cost of beef. Wait a second. The cost of beef's already up because of inflation, because of shortages. This is just beginning. And then there are people that tell you, hey, the interest rates are going to stop going up. And then they tell you that employment is up. There's fewer jobs than there are people looking for them. You forgot about that. Mark Zuckerberg just laid off 13,000 people. That Amazon laid off another 10,000. Those haven't hit the field yet. And then who hires? Do those people just go knock on Amazon's door and say, "Hey, you got a job for an engineer to make your new Digawhopper for your Amazon Web Services"? No, those people are gained by recruiters. These people are high-paid people. And so where do they go to get a job? Are they going to go to your Holiday Inn and say, "Hey, do you need somebody to make beds? Or do you need somebody to serve breakfast in the morning?" No, that's where the employment came, in hospitality and restaurants. Where are the people from Amazon, from Google, from Apple, and from Facebook going to go find work? These people are the people who built that $3 million house down the street from me, who now don't have a job. What's that going to do? What's that going to do to the real estate market? What's that going to do to the banking market? And when the banks have to foreclose on those $3 million houses, what's that going to do to the restaurant down the street? Folks, this is a game of dominoes. And when one domino falls, another one does. And I just told you of 2 dominoes. One's a huge domino. It's called China. The other domino's out in Oklahoma. and it's called cows, and it's called drought, and it's called no grass to feed the cows. Okay, that's my uplifting story. That's the video I put together as I made my, about a 6-hour drive from the beach to Birmingham, Alabama. And I wanted to get it out to you on Monday morning so you can make a decision. What are you going to do today with the stock market? How are you going to react to whatever happens tomorrow? And why the hell are you still in Tesla? Come on.